Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Snapshot, episode 77. I'm Brendan Patrick, joined always by Marvel Snap Phenom, KM Best. KM, your week in Marvel Snap, sir?
Pretty good. Lost like 60 SP over the course of 10 hours. Worst day of my life. You know, it goes like that. No, I'm doing pretty good. I'm enjoying the metagame. I'm a little bit worried about Angela Ravonna Athena stuff being just like a little bit better than everything else happening right now, but we'll see if we can adjust to beat it. And yeah, I'm generally happy with the game Marvel Snap. How about you? Because you, as I recall, just got off a plane, 3 hours of sleep, running on absolute fumes.
Well, I feel like every time I take an early flight, I just absolutely learn my fucking lesson, and I'm just like, never will do that again, and then I proceed to do it again. So yeah, Jesus Christ, it's just a lot. So I just had like a 6 a.m. flight back from San Diego. I was in San Diego all week, which is for an interesting reason. I actually accepted a new job there. Yep. So I accepted a new job there. I'll be starting in 2 weeks and probably moving out there in 4 weeks. I wasn't really looking for a job, to be honest, but there's like a group of guys I've worked with in the past, alongside, I was in a different company, they were in this company, and the opportunity just arose for that to happen. So things kind of coalesced, and yeah, I just flew out there. We made sure we were all congruent and we liked each other and we weren't weird. And yeah, we just kind of got it done in like a week, which was awesome. San Diego itself, I lived in California for like 7 years, because I went there for high school, and then I went there for university, NorCal for high school, and then Los Angeles for university. And I had never been to San Diego, and for some reason I had this like I had this opinion that it like was kind of overhyped. It wasn't that nice. Yeah, I was wrong, dude. That place is freaking sick. Oh my god. Yeah. It is so nice. It really grew on me over the course of the week. Obviously the weather was fantastic, but just the sort of diversity of areas in terms of like downtown beach. Then you have a bit up north, and there's a bit of nature there. You can kind of drive to Big Bear when you have like mountains, and it was just an amazing experience. So I'm pretty happy to relocate there. Right now I'm in the south, so it's like 100 degrees, soon it will be 110, 115. So it'll be a lifestyle change. And I'll be working in an office, which if you had asked me 2-3 years ago if I'd ever work in an office again, it would have snap no chance, never again, would never do it. But this one's a bit different. So I actually wanted
Is it card game related?
No, it's not card game related. So it's just e-commerce basically. That's I've always kind of been in marketing and e-commerce stuff and affiliate.
Can we tell the story of your email address?
Yeah, yes, I'll tell you. Okay, everybody strap in here. My Google Calendar is tied to a burner email, and that said burner email is okay. If we run into any ethical dilemmas here, just give me a pass, because this was like 10 years ago. I don't even think it was that bad. First of all, my email address is lift.transportation@gmail.com. That's my burner email address. That's my Gmail, or that's my Google Calendar. So occasionally questions come up. What the fuck is this? So, what happened, I was in college, and Uber had basically, 100% market share of the rideshare app. So Lyft wanted to take this aggressive model to try to take some of that market share away and become, one of the 3 rideshare apps that exist. In order to do that, they created this ridiculous referral program. Said referral program was, I give you a code for Lyft. It gives you a $20 free ride, and then I get paid $20. No strings attached. The most ridiculous referral program I've ever seen in my entire life. And the reason they did this was to have, people on college campuses kind of represent the brand, create this level of brand identity. So of course, the first thing I did was absolutely not do that. And I basically hired a team to call like bars, restaurants, apartment complexes, like all these places, and give them my code. And the reason it was bad is I was absolutely spamming them like 12 hours a day. And I got banned in a week. I got banned in a week, and I made $0. And I was like, that's ridiculous. I felt like that was such a good idea, and I made $0. I was like, God damn. I mean, maybe I'm just not destined for this money making thing. A couple months later, I get an email from Lyft. Can you update your bank account information? I was like, oh, I update it. Instantly wires me almost 6 figures. I was like, instantly almost wires me 6 figures of commission. And I received commission checks for 3 years, I think, after that, maybe at least until they shut down that said referral program. They did kind of, the referral amounts went down, $20 to 15 to 10 to 5 to even 2. But my code, so we were sending these restaurants, these bars, and these apartment complexes, like media kits. So we printed off on basically high quality printer paper, like my code. And they would just, nobody was using Lyft this time. They would just put it in the bar so that people could get free rides home if they were drunk. And that just sat there forever. So even though I got banned and they didn't want me calling anybody else, they kind of locked my account out. That referral code still worked, which was crazy. Yeah.
So every time I upload my recording of this podcast, it goes to lifttransportation@gmail.com.
Yeah, that question comes up a lot. So there's one little detail here, which is, why is my email lift.transportation@gmail.com? Because everything I've told you there has nothing to do with the email. So there was a professor at my university that sent out an email to students and did not encrypt the receiver. So I don't know if you know, I don't even exactly know how it works, but basically when you receive an email that has a lot of recipients and confidential recipients, usually will be encrypted and you cannot see those recipients. This was not the case. So I got every single active email address for every single student at my university. So back in the day when
Brian said bullshit.
Back in the day when people weren't, because nowadays people are more accustomed to, getting bullshit emails and that. I don't think it would ever work, but I just sent out those referral emails from lift.transportation@gmail.com, and I just never cared to make another burner email. Also, I think it's a funny story. The business ethics of that operation, definitely gray, but that was gray.
Sending an email, spam emailing your entire university. Gray.
Hey, that guy fucked up. I don't know. I was 20. I don't know. I was broke.
Yeah, you were on your hashtag grind set. Yeah. You were 2 degrees from booty coin.
Yeah,
we're right there.
Hey, if I'd been in college when booty coin was slinging around, I might have been a booty coin enthusiast at this.
Yeah, the world's first booty coin millionaire, baby.
Yeah, so that's my email. I can't believe we just told people my entire email address. Feel free to email me there.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. You get to get mad about people sending you unsolicited emails. That's a thing you get to be angry about.
Yeah, I think I've foregone any recourse on spam emails for the rest of my life. I
sign him up for Viagra prescription. Put him on every mailing list.
Put me on a rebill, yeah. Well, I did feel like I was providing value at the time.
So are the Viagra prescription people, man.
Yeah, what a ridiculous. Yeah, it was just ridiculous. Anyway, yeah. So back to the original. Yeah, I'll just be doing e-commerce stuff. Basically, e-commerce. It's kind of like selling your own products. Obviously, that's a huge umbrella of things, but selling your own products. And then affiliate is just selling other people's products. So it's just kind of like a digital, agency. It's not even an agency. They don't work for other companies. They sell their own products. They sell other people's products. Basically stuff I've been doing for 5 to 7 years. I kind of fell into it after my first job, or my first corporate job, which was a technical recruiter, which was the worst job I've ever had in my life. That was calling people for 8 to 10 hours a day, cold calling technical people who were trying to put them in senior technical roles, who get hundreds of calls a day from people like me trying to survive on a $30K salary, just off just getting commission, and just trying to sling them into roles that they don't want to be in, right? It was the worst job I've ever had in my life. The attrition rate, I swear to God, that office had a 30% month-to-month attrition rate. It was just terrible. Terrible. So happy to not be doing that again.
Speaking of 30% month-to-month attrition rate, let's talk about Marvel Snap.
Oh, yeah? You think we're there?
Got him! We got him!
I actually think that I was pretty... I saw the news with Marvel Snap. I saw alliances in particular. I actually started to feel pretty optimistic. I feel like that's an aspect of Marvel Snap, the community aspect, which I don't know if alliances are going to solve that, but I do think that it's absolutely a step in the right direction. What are your thoughts?
I'm the worst person to ask about this because when the game is good, I enjoy it, and when the game is bad, I still kind of enjoy it. And so it's like, whenever someone's like, "Whoa, is this gonna do good for Marvel Snap?" Like, I'm the last person on earth who can actually judge that. I might be the single worst person to ask, is this going to be good or bad for the game Marvel Snap? Because my perspective is so myopic. I'm like a horse with blinders on. I don't know.
Also, you have this like meta community that the normal Marvel Snap player doesn't have because you have your stream, you have your Discord. I think that Marvel Snap really lacks person-to-person interaction, and it can make the game almost feel single player sometimes because you're so siloed off from your opponent. And I think adding these community aspects, they're adding a chat as well. Like, it just adds so much more, I don't know, depth to the game. Not that it makes it more complex, but it just gives you some like more reasons to kind of compete and exist in the ecosystem. I'm actually pretty excited for it. I honestly thought alliances, I'm not saying it's going to be good, by the way, but I was surprised that they added in a chat, and I saw like a screenshot of a bot posting like, "Oh, this list just won an 8 cube." I think that's freaking awesome. Hopefully they can optimize it to where it actually feels like a community you want to be a part of, and you can kind of hang out with your friends, and everybody can get better. And I think it looks good. I expect it to be trash when I first saw it, because mobile games and clan systems, they're usually kind of gimmicky, but my hope is that this is not that. That's more actually trying to build an internal community.
Yeah, I think a lot of like people like to do like all this conversations about like the problems with Marvel Snap or what have you. And I think that like one of the things that happens all the time is that it's a problem of expectations management, where what the community expects and what is actually in the works is just like never congruent, right? And then at the same time, it's also a problem of like communications period with Second Dinner, where like very often they will have a good thing to announce, but like they don't put the focus on the good thing, they put the focus on the bad thing instead. And so these two things add up into like every announcement they make is everyone's just shitting on it all the time. Mm-hmm. And it's hard for me to say that's like, because it's definitely not only on the community. This community does tend to gaslight themselves into believing things that are not true and then get mad when those things don't happen. But at the same time, a vast amount of the issues that are caused by communications echoing out from the company. And we talked about this with regards to like how Deadpool's Diner was announced and all of that stuff, right? Like there's just a million better ways to communicate what they were trying to communicate there. A million things where leading with the good stuff would have been a good idea instead of leading with the bad stuff. A sort of lack of understanding of how this stuff would be taken by the community at large and all of that. But I just sort of think generally it has gotten to a point where I don't expect them to ever announce anything and have it have a good reaction ever.
Very interesting. Do you feel like that is in any way a more recent problem, or do you think it's a problem that's been occurring for a long time? Because there's one thing that happened that I want to point to that should have been an inflection point in the positive, and that's that they hired a community manager, and they started probably a month or 2 months ago. And the things you mentioned have been in the past 2 months.
Well, it's not just the past 2 months. Those are just
that's why I'm asking.
Yeah. It seems like it hasn't changed, right? And I don't know why. Like, I don't know if that's the thing a community manager can solve. I actually think that on the whole, what Griffin has done in terms of being straightforward about stuff has been very helpful. But it's like sort of around the edges. And then the only big event announcement that we've had was sort of handled poorly. But like around the edges, for example, like in the Discord just today, as we are recording it in the game news channel, just a heads up for everybody that we've got a patch going out tomorrow. While not our normal cadence, this is due to the fact that all of us at Second Dinner will be out next week celebrating the United States July 4th holiday. To set expectations, this patch is setting the table for next season. Deadpool's Diner, alliances, and more. OTA update coming on 6/27 as well. That's a great amount of communication because it basically tells me, okay, there's going to be a patch. It's just going to be technical stuff, balanced stuff, probably in the OTA, right? Like that's great communication, but it's like it's around the edges, right? It's on the Discord server, and that stuff has all been handled much, much better post Griffin. I think. I think like just that kind of information being disseminated, good. Big fan of that, right? But that announcement was really bad. That announcement was really bad.
I'm sitting here just on the edge of my seat, just a little bit of booty sweat waiting for that caveat. Like,
yeah, I mean, that announcement was really bad. There's no real two ways around it. Like, when you have content creators who don't know how, like, who just literally can't even tell people that there's a good part of your announcement because you didn't tell anyone that there was a good part of your announcement. And all you did was tell people in excruciating detail the bad part about what you were announcing. And it's like, I don't understand why. There's like all these famous sayings like, oh, a lie gets halfway around the world by the time the truth gets out of bed to put its shoes on. There's no second chance at making a first impression. There's a million different like ways to say lead with your best foot forward, and they just seem to never do it, and I don't know why.
What do you call those, by the way? Those axioms?
Like, idioms?
The idioms? Okay, what's an axiom? Do you know what an axiom is? I'm
a fundamental truth of the world.
Oh, you're right. Damn, I can always trust the Cam lexicon. It's always there. I'm happy about that. All right, we had we had a new card released in the form of Makari 3/4. Says after the turn, runs from your hand to a random location if possible. How did it land for you?
I am going to do a call out post. I never do creator drama, but Cozy Snap, Alex Kocha, I'm calling you out.
Okay.
Multiple people in my Discord have been saying that you guys think that Makari needs to be a 3/5 or maybe even potentially a 3/6. You're comparing 3/4 Makari to Howard. Ridiculous. That's a vibes take. That is not a numbers take. I went and looked at the numbers for Makari in top 10% infinite. About 5% play rate. 54% win rate, 0.23% cube rate. Like, very clearly a good card. It is not Red Hulk, but it is a good card. And if you put that to 3/5, it's probably the single best card in the entire game. There is no way you look at a card with a 54% win rate and you're like, you know what? We should give this 25% more power. You can't do that. I'm sorry. Like, I get it. This card could have been better, but if it was better, it is in every single deck. It is in all of the decks that have ever existed. Nobody is turning down 3/5 power. You just are not doing it. 3/4 is about as high as you can ever go without making the dumbest card on earth. If you make this a 3/5 or a 3/6, it instantly, like, that's 56% win rate. Like, you're talking about just like instantly a ridiculous card. It's already pretty decent in a reasonable niche. But I think this was something like, I phrase this as a call out post. It's not really a call out post. They're just the example I'm using, because what I'm really talking about is a like deeper idea here, which is every card that releases, people are mad when it's not Red Hulk. And if it's not Red Hulk, it's a bad card. And that feels like how this is. Like, every card is either, okay, this card is bad because it's not Red Hulk, or needs to be buffed in order to be Red Hulk, or needs to be Series 4 because it's not Red Hulk. Like, that's legitimately what the conversation feels like around new cards at this point. And I think that is a consequence of their release system confusing being worth buying and actually good, right? Because it is very reasonable to look at a card like Makari and say, all right, that's very good in a very limited scope, therefore not worth buying. Totally understandable. Would rather buy Nocturne than Makari any day of the week. I'm with you. It is not reasonable to then say Makari's a bad card or compare it to Howard the Duck. Like, though there's two different things being discussed here. And I think that Makari is a good card that is not a great card, and you're only supposed to buy great cards. And that's reasonable. That's 100% super reasonable take to me. But the idea that like every card that releases needs to be insanely busted or everyone's going to call it bad, I feel like is kind of frustrating to me.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking to what extent is that? I mean, you spoke to it, but to what extent is that a product of releasing one card a week and also releasing them at the same price functionally?
Yeah.
Do you think it's a bad place to be in? Like, do you think it's a? I know it can be frustrating that is the approach that people take, but do you think that it is sort of distracting and destructive enough, or do you think that it's almost like a health, like it's not that bad, right? That people complain about. That's what I wonder is like, people have their opinions on Macari, but the lesser of two evils to an extent.
Right. Like, if you are someone who is listening to Cozy and Alex, you will actually get the right advice, which is don't buy Macari. Mm-hmm. They're right in that context, right? Like, that is the right advice. You probably shouldn't buy Macari. But the wrongness of it is saying this should be buffed or this is comparable to Howard. Right, because there's like Macari is closer to being broken than she is to Howard the Duck by a lot. Like, this is a card that is 1 point of power away from being broken and probably like 2 or 3 points of power away from being Howard the Duck. Like, it would have to be legitimately very bad to be Howard the Duck tier. And she's not legitimately very bad. She goes in the Sandman deck where she is very clearly good. And I think if I had to say, I would say she probably does not go in Silver Surfer, but she is at least fine to good there. I think, it's very reasonable to be like, I'd rather do something else. I think I personally would rather be doing something else, but you can play her in that deck. And you can play Howard the Duck in no decks ever. And it's just a very different thing. Now, if I'm hearing this incorrectly, because this is all, I will be clear about this. Cite my sources here. This is all totally secondhand. So if I am wrong about any of the factual specifics here, I do genuinely apologize, because I am a fan of both of those people. They've both been guests on this show. I enjoy both of what they bring to this. I just feel like they're examples of this dynamic that has been really bothering me recently, where if a card isn't Red Hulk, it sucks. And it's like, that's not true. That's not an accurate thing.
Which part of secondhand is it? The Cozy and Alex?
The comparing to Howard.
Okay, so the take is secondhand. Is the data secondhand? Is the win rate?
The data's from Untapped.
Okay, so the data is basically so as close to
the data's about as good as we can have.
So we did our research. Research.
The data I went to, it's from Untapped. I looked at multiple different bands of MMR. Top 10% infinite, top 50% infinite, and then 70 to 99. In every band of MMR, she was above 52% win rate. Her play rate was pretty low, but that's because everyone thought she sucked and didn't buy her, right? Seems like a...
I'll hop on this. Open invitation. If Alex or Cozy wants to come on the podcast and not only defend this position if they hold it, and like we talked about, there's nothing more quintessentially content creator than defending.
Than just like totally misunderstanding a position and then demanding someone position.
Yeah, defending positions to which you do not hold. But if you want to come on and defend that position and also talk about card acquisition and the system and this sort of, Red Hulk, this Red Hulk peg in terms of power level, would love for you to come on and would love to
everything has to be Red Hulk. It's such like, if it's not Nocturne, it's dog shit. We can't play it.
How weird is it that in other games you have like players have this like palatability for filler and dog shit? So like, you're in Hearthstone, you're in Magic, you're in Fab, 80% plus of an entire set is just unplayable, but that's normal.
Yeah. And like, this isn't even, we're not even talking about an unplayable card. We're talking about like a pretty good card. We're talking about like a good card in like a B+ deck. Like this, it's a good card. It makes this B+ deck better.
Mm-hmm.
And it just ends up being like a card everyone hates because it's not A+ making an A+ deck better.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's talk about another card. So the card coming with Deadpool's Dying, it's Cassandra Nova, 3/1 on reveal. Drain 1 power from each card in your opponent's deck. What are your thoughts on Cassandra?
Seems kind of messed up, dude. Like, I feel like Luke Cage is about to become a very important thing. This card seems kind of nuts, right? Like, you play it on 3. You drain every card they're going to draw for the rest of the game. It's like a 3/7.
Okay.
That seems quite strong.
But is it really bad not playing it on 3? Like,
yeah, it's a little bad not playing it on 3.
So could it be too bad potentially? Like,
it could be.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's an interesting card.
One thing I do like about this is like, one thing that really sticks out to me about the sort of Deadpool's Diner method of dispersing cards is you would naturally think that the cards that go in a mode that come out for free would be worse, right? Like in Fate Grand Order, the quote unquote welfare servants, the ones you get for free as opposed to the paid ones, are worse. They're worse, like notably worse. Like very few of them are legitimately excellent. And you get like one of those a month. And so like if we assume Deadpool's Diner is their version of doing that, you'd expect it to be worse. And it just isn't. That's just like a real card. That's like an actual real card. They could sell that for 6,000 tokens.
I think there's one fundamental assumption there that you're making. That's
what, that Marvel Snap is a gacha game?
Yes, and it's that we've accepted that good cards should be more expensive. Because that is
I mean, series drops have been sort of beating us over the head with that for a little bit, haven't they?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. But I would say still kind of speculation at this point, not confirmed.
I don't know. I just feel like once we got like our second series drop that was just like all the bad cards, getting rid of them. It's like, all right, I get it. I get what's going on here. It's okay.
It is what it is. All right, let's hop into our Ben and Snap section. This is our listener question section. If you want to get a question read out in next week's podcast, shoot us a comment on YouTube. You know the rules. Don't break them. All right, next one. First one is from M Handle. Bend and Snap. This is my favorite YouTube algorithm meta podcast. Also, I think the inside jokes, banter, and sense of camaraderie between you guys add to the parasocial value of a podcast around a digital CCG. Like Flesh and Blood, you play in person mostly, in quotations, mostly, I assume, never played it. So you have buddies to make comments to. I have no Snap friends, just you guys and other Snap podcasts I follow. Also, I say this lovingly. This is my favorite jocks who are also nerds podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We probably do have the collective highest bench press of any Snap podcast.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Potentially.
I'd imagine.
That'd be interesting. So this is interesting to you, Cam. So I was on Arsenal Pass and I was doing content before I had to leave. So, just like doing a mailbag episode and talking about a little stuff that was not going to be outdated immediately. And because of that, there was a lot of banter that happened in the episode. And my co-host was like, at the very end of the episode, he goes, "Oh, are people going to hate this?" And he said this on the episode because we didn't talk about that much about Flesh and Blood. I was like, They'll
love it.
Yeah, I might be on a podcast that does not talk about Marvel Snap and has it in the title, and people fucking love it. And what happened is I looked at those comments right before I hopped on here. Oh my God. It was like our most commented video. People loved it. People loved it. I think there's a balance, but yeah, it was just funny that he even like that was the question. I was like, oh, we talked like 80%. They're like maybe 70-30, 70 Flesh and Blood, 30 banter. And I was like, those are rookie numbers. We can get those numbers up.
70-30 the other way.
Yeah, 70-30 the other, 90-10 some week. All right. Next one's from Kate. They say, "I like your content style, Cam. I really appreciate the card by card breakdown and use it just like you say. Just want to give you some feedback that it seems like not enough people are saying. I really appreciate your intentional approach to content creation."
Yeah, it's kind of all I have because I sure don't have production value. I have to make up for that by like giving the information in a concise and entertaining way because I have ring light, webcam, microphone, bed sheet,
laptop ?
Yeah, laptop.
Did you ever get a new laptop, or are you still using the same laptop?
I did. No, I got a new laptop because my other one of the fans sort of exploded.
Yeah.
And it was already like running at like 85, 90 degrees Celsius with both fans functioning if I was streaming. So with one fan not functioning, I would imagine it would like probably just melt.
Yeah. All right. Next one's from Theo Doax. Question: What if the buff to High Evo is buffing High Evo himself? Maybe something like he gets a level of power buff for every evolved card you play, either as an ongoing or an on reveal.
That is cool.
Yeah, why not?
I have no other feedback. That's cool. I like it.
Why not? For sure. All right, next one's from Henry. What might be scarier than an MRI machine is getting stuck in a crowded elevator? I'm talking about before checkout at a hotel and everyone has a bunch of luggage as well. Have you ever been stuck in an elevator?
Nope.
Yeah,
I don't go outside. Why would I get stuck in an elevator? How many elevators have I been in the last year? Probably like none.
I actually take a lot of stairs, not because I'm looking to get exercise. I just I don't know. I just tend to do that weirdly enough. So I avoid.
It feels more active. I'm with you. It feels more like you're doing something.
Also, waiting for an elevator sucks. Like maybe it's just maybe I'm more ADD than I am like lazy. So like I just like
no, I'm with you.
I can't wait for that shit. All right.
Last time I was in an elevator, I was in Hong Kong, I think.
Yeah, sometimes you got
in the hotel.
A huge building. All right, next one's from Nerd. It said, "This is my favorite Thick Thighs podcast. As a content creator, how do you balance who to target? In parentheses, everyone, top 1,000 players, below infinite players, etc. with your videos." This is more of a question for you.
I don't think about it. I make what I make. If people like it, people like it. Luckily, people like it. But people always talk about like, oh, KM, you branded yourself as this. And I was just like, I didn't do that on purpose. It's just who I am. Like, I think about things like that a lot less than you'd think. Because I am very raw and very much of the mindset that the fact that I get to do this is a privilege, but the way I am, if I start micromanaging, I'm likely to micromanage myself into nothing. And so I try to, get better over time at doing the things that I do. You can tell like my thumbnails are better than they've ever been, right? They're still not perfect, but they're good. They convey what they're meant to convey. They're a little more eye-catching than they used to be. I've gotten more comfortable using bright colors and making a dumb face and making my skin look like AI. And just like generally things that I wasn't super comfortable with earlier. I think level ups for me as a creator, more shorts would probably be the number one thing I could do.
Making shorts sucks.
It sucks. And in terms of who I target, my content, I don't believe in changing that for other people. I realize that might sound stupid, but what people get out of me, I think, is authenticity. And I would not want to do anything to betray that expectation.
Yeah. I would say I have 3 podcasts that target the exact same audience, and that's not on purpose. It's just like, that's just the niche that I'm most comfortable in, which is like this, like kind of, I play the host, co-host, this sort of subject matter expert, targeting like the higher competitive aspects. So like you, in this case, out of the 3 you listed, probably top 1,000 players. Obviously, it's a lot more than that, but that's just where I feel most comfortable. I really don't like, I could never see myself doing like news TCG content, where you like hop on like the beta restricted announcement is this, and here's my opinion, which I'm sure I'd do that on the podcast, but I couldn't like be like, oh, it just dropped, let me go put a video down and repeat the information. Like for me, it's just, that's not why I do it. Honestly, the reason I do these podcasts, I just like having good conversations. That's actually the main motivator. It's like a social, kind of like a social muscle thing that I just like, I get that in every week, and it makes me just happier. Next one is from Mr. Noob. Brendan, how do you play so many card games at the same time? I went back to Duel Links for a few weeks, and I think it has been particularly difficult to climb to Infinite because of that. I don't have trouble, like, I guess sometimes, like, I come back rusty. I definitely feel rusty when I come back. And in regards to playing many games at the same time, I think I probably play them less than you expect. Like I'll take breaks and stuff in between, especially between competitive seasons with the paper card games. But that's why, especially in the podcast, like Cam plays every single day. So like I don't.
That's not even true.
Okay, well Cam plays a lot. He plays a lot.
I probably play less than everyone else at my rank, actually.
Yeah, you might play less than. Yeah, I mean, you probably play less than a lot of people that don't stream too, which is actually even more interesting. But one thing I want to point to on this question is, I believe that a lot of the skills that you develop for one card game are very transferable to the next for the most part. Marvel Snap is like a bit of an outlier because it's so different from other card games, but still, you tend to see like players that are very, very good at one card game be very, very good at another, because it is just like this concept of value. And sometimes it's like a grind mindset where they just can really put their head down and just be determined to be good at something. Next one is from Cold Reaver. Is there a good Angela Athena deck after the Cannonball change? Profex still wins a lane easily, especially with Nocturne, or Athena to add or remove power from his location, but I don't know the best card to win the other lane. Gamora, Red Hulk, Claw, Gilgamesh, ?
Okay, buddy, I've got great news for you and bad news for you. One, I'm pretty sure the best deck in the game is an Angela Athena Ravonna deck right now. 2, it does not run Profex. I did a video on it a few days ago. I think it's just pretty clearly just like cracked, broken in half. And What we're doing is the Angela Athena shell with Mysterio, Sasquatch, Mockingbird, and Iron Man as our top end. So our top end is just very large women in the form of Sasquatch, Mockingbird, and Sage, and Iron Man as the biggest force multiplier to ever live. And so our final turns, if you ask me to describe what it plays like, I would say it plays a lot like, and this will be a good one for you, Brendan.
Bounce.
You remember the bounce lists?
Yep.
From about a year ago?
Yep.
It plays like that.
Yeah,
where it's like,
it looks like that.
It's that. Like that's what it's trying to do, except Hitmonkey sucks. We just play a 310 now and a 2-9 or whatever. And we're just doing that. Our Iron Man costs 4 now. We're going crazy.
Yeah, so I'll read that list off for you just so you can get the full list. It's going to be Kitty Pryde, Angela, Athena, Jeff, Ravonna, Mysterio, Morph, Sage, Nocturne, Iron Man, Mockingbird, Sasquatch. But yeah, looks exactly the same. Kind of has the same pieces with the reach with Iron Man as well. But yeah, fun list to play for sure. All right, next one is from I got turned around here. Philip, what do you think about getting a card for hitting Infinite or a one-time exchange for winning an Infinity Conquest? It's just not congruent with the model, right? I mean, maybe they could do it as like could it be an olive branch? You know, like let's say we're 6 months down the line, people are still they're getting like, you know, we've hit this thermo sub layer thing. Could it be an olive branch? I think it would piss people off more.
I feel like I'm not grasping the idea. Please repeat it because I don't want to do the content creator thing.
Yeah, you hit Infinite and or you hit Infinite or you win an Infinity Conquest for the season. You can exchange like some sort of token for a card.
Oh, that's really dumb. Okay. I was hoping it would not be what I thought it was. No, the last thing they need to do is put like this is the kind of idea that I'm going to use this in a derogatory way. A PTQ grinder comes up with where it rewards people that are good enough to be PTQ grinders and exactly nobody below that threshold. And what I mean by that is like this is an idea that biases card acquisition towards skill. But it's not just skill, because you know what helps you do those things is having a lot of cards already. It biases card acquisition towards people who are already buying cards. In other words, the last people who need help doing that. So if you are already succeeding, you do not need help. You need the exact opposite of those people needs help. Mr. Hardstuck rank 40, they're the one who needs the free cards. You don't. You're doing good things already. And so I would do the opposite of this. If you hit Infinite, they should take a card away from you.
That is not real. You're dude. So it's funny.
I think that's a better idea than this one.
It's funny how it's just a microcosm for life.
Yeah, no, that's exactly. And in real life, I support wealth redistribution, and I would not be I would be opposed to things that did something like this for real life, just like I am in this game.
Yeah, just asset in the market. All right, XD. Does the series system even have a place in a game like Marvel Snap? It only seems to cause tension, and SD seems to ignore it, and even to a degree. In parentheses, series drops are pretty infrequent, and basically every card is Series 5, and is really weird with spotlights, arbitrarily making a spotlight with a Series 4 card worth less than one with a Series 5 card in the same slot.
I don't think that series means anything. I think the only thing series does is let people complain when a card they don't like is released at Series 5, and then they're like, oh, that should be Series 4. You dummies. Why didn't you make this card Series 4? Because it's not Red Hulk. If it's not Red Hulk, it has to be Series 4. Every card that isn't Red Hulk, Series 4. If this card is not busted, Series 4. No, long story short, I don't really think series does anything for the game at this
Thought experiment. Do you think people would be happy if they just did the inverse of that? So instead of making the bad cards cheaper, they just made the good cards way more expensive. So what if Red Hulk was like
Jeff to 9,000?
Yeah. What about Series 6? Like you get Jeff and Red Hulk, you tell them
we're doing it. I have long held that the optimal system for this game, and they can never do this because it's so clearly evil, but the optimal system for this game would be one that literally the more you have, the more they charge you. That would be it's like so clearly evil, but it's what they should do. Because like we talk about like tax brackets, right? Mm-hmm. It should be like that. If you like, this card should cost less if you're like a broke boy. Straight up.
What if you could accrue some kind of currency by playing, and there was an open market where players could trade said cards, and the value was determined by the market, aka the power, and then you could also use your real life cash to buy said currency, and we're fucking booty coin farming.
I would only accept that if they were non-fungible tokens, okay? Nobody better be able to funge my shit.
I wonder if anybody who was like super anti-NFT was like, that sounds like a good idea. Yeah, we could do that. Just like, that was a bit. That would not work well, by the way.
That was not a bit. We were 100% serious. This is now a pro NFT podcast.
Pro booty coin, specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Booty FT.
And NFT is a little non-committal. Pro booty coin farming.
Right.
Podcast.
We're gonna be really mad when it turns out that already exists, because there's like an 100% chance it does, because like every crypto thing is just like, oh, I made a crypto, haha, look at the name, it's so funny, go buy it for a penny. There's 100% chance this actually exists.
All right, CoinGecko.com, live trading of booty coin. It's at a 0.001457 right now. Look at the we'll look at the max. It's actually down from its all-time high, 0.015. Oh, we are down. This is not looking good.
I just like, it sucks so bad that if you want to make fun of crypto, some asshole has already been like, actually, I already made fun of crypto and I pump and dumped and scammed people with it. Fuck you.
Hey, this could be a good investment. I've been plugging this on the pod for a long time here. Shit, there's it's got a 1 month bump here in the price action. That could be a snapshot special. We have an affiliate code, and everybody buy booty coin. Me and Cam will instantly dump it on.
I think you legally have to say this is not financial advice, even though you're joking.
I'll let the SEC come for me. That's good. The IRS is already up my ass, so how bad can it be?
Worse, presumably.
All right. The last one here is from Matt. Benisat question. Blink, Sage, and Red Guardian are nowhere to be found in caches. I'm getting close to having 6,000 tokens. Please rank these cards 1 to 3. Ponders.
Fuck. Okay. Red Guardian, Sage, Blink.
Red Guardian, Sage, Blink. Lock it in. All right. That concludes our Ben and Snap section. Thank you to everyone who commented a real nice comment. You put effort into your comment. Big middle finger up to everybody who said this is my favorite pod. No, I'm kidding. Thank you.
This is my favorite big middle finger up podcast.
Big middle finger up podcast. Man, I'm checking in on Booty Coin next week. I'm gonna retire from this.
I swear to God, if anyone listening to this actually goes and buys crypto after this, I don't know.
Specifically Booty Coin.
Like if any of you listen to us ragging on crypto for 10 minutes and you're like, I should invest in this, it's a good opportunity, I hate you.
Watch someone get rich off of it though. Like,
shut up. You can't say that. Now you sound like you're shilling. Now it's like, oh yeah, it could totally happen. Stop.
What do they say? What's the saying about like all gamblers? They just kind of quit like right before they hit it big or something.
Right. It's like, you know that meme with the guy mining? Mm-hmm. It's the guy. It's that, except instead of a bunch of diamonds, it's a bunch of trash bags.
Yeah.
You all just stopped gambling right before you hit it the opposite of big.
You know, I'll even go out of my way. I'll put a link to my private course on how to actually trade Booty Coin effectively in the description. Yeah, so you can buy my course, then you can buy the Booty Coin, and then I will dump the Booty Coin off on
Is it gonna be a rickroll?
No.
Okay.
It's gonna be give me $300 to do nothing.
Oh God, people should do that for me.
Monthly subscription, by the way. Enjoy.
What, Booty Coin?
No, to my course, and I will tell you how to buy Booty Coin.
Right.
And then when you buy it, I will use you as exit liquidity to become rich myself. And then I will use said funds to buy Lamborghinis and post them on Instagram to recruit more of you to buy more Booty Coin.
You won't actually buy the Lamborghinis. You'll like lease them for a couple hours and then get your Insta photos off. And then you'll return the Lamborghinis. And then you'll be like, hey, check it out. I got this Lamborghini with my Booty Coin money.
My Booty Coin. And look at everybody in my course. It's just a bunch of winners. Look at these testimonials. Yeah.
Why does this one say it's written by ChatGPT? What a weird name.
Oh man, I can't even imagine how prevalent that stuff is. It's so funny that I actually haven't like done anything in like anything that has to do with copywriting since ChatGPT came out. I can't even imagine how common it is now that people. Yeah, it's like I forget. There's like a few things. I think there's like a few verbal cues, not verbal, but a few cues like words and like ways that ChatGPT like lists things that apparently are like big red flags for that. Also, you can just run it through additional software to see if it was AI. I just know that we'll be using copy.
Have you heard about the people that are like asking ChatGPT if something is AI and they don't realize that you can't do that because it'll just give you a random answer?
Interesting.
Yeah, like people think it's like, oh, I asked the AI if this was written by you.
Oh, okay.
But like, it's not qualified to answer that because it's not a person. Like, it's not. It is a predictive text generator. So you're basically asking a coin flipper if this is written by them. Like, what are you talking about? It has no knowledge.
Hey.
There's no brain in there for it to recall from. It doesn't have the ability to identify text from itself.
You say coin flipper like it's a bad thing. I'm trading booty coin. A 50-50 is as good as it's gonna get, bro. Like, I'll take that any day of the week.
Oh my god.
Fucking ChatGPT. I'm so interested to see all of that in the real world as I re-enter. Anyway, Cam, anything you want to end with? We did talk about the Angela Athena list, and you mentioned it. And you thought it was
it's good as shit. I hate it.
It's really good.
Yeah, I thought you liked these kind of decks, or what? You just like?
I gotta tell you, last time I played this deck, it was just like all mirrors, and I just like, oh my god. For the record, Morph kind of a mirror breaker. Mm-hmm. You play it on like 4 or 5, and it's like just Iron Man or Sasquatch or something most of the time because those are the cards that are in their hand. And so it's just like this is just like the biggest, most busted, annoying thing you can ever do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty gas. I'm interested to see where Alliance is led. I actually think that could be very, very good for Marvel Snap. Even just a little bit of a chat function native to the game. They could add a lot of depth to the community because I'm almost insistent that if you're not competing at high infinite, Marvel Snap is like virtually indistinguishable from a single player game. Like what feedback do you get that you're playing a multiplayer game? Some dude is a fucking asshole to you and like emotes you. That's it. That's
the only interaction you get with other people is a guy using an emote to convey like hand emoji, water squirting emoji. That's what like if they had the option to do that, that's what they'd be sending you, but they don't. So instead they use like the Miss Marvel emotes.
Oh my god. Interesting. All right. That concludes our episode for this week. If you like this podcast, and you want to help us out.
Oh, Brendan, I have such bad news.
What's good? What's up?
I forgot to mute you on my recording.
It's all good. It's salvageable. It's a duo.
Okay.
You don't think we have contingencies here, bro? We're on episode 77.
Okay.
Nah. I'm a contingency master. It never happens. Nothing ever gets.
Okay.
Yeah. I've learned my lessons, bro. I've had 2-hour episodes get corrupted with guests. It's pain. It's absolute pain.
That's never the worst thing that's ever happened to me is I recorded an episode with Raven. Because he beat me in a tournament, and I was like, this is a really cool deck. I really want to feature it on my channel. And it was one of the episodes that I had scheduled to go live while I was in Hong Kong. Mm-hmm. And so I'm sitting in the airport. I'm about to edit it up. Like, okay, let's get this work done. So I just have to press upload when I get to Hong Kong. It'll all be fine. I open the video. I don't remember if I'm muted or he's muted, but one of us is inaudible. And it is the worst. Like, that is the only time I've ever sincerely beefed some technical stuff.
Yeah.
And incidentally, that is the last time I missed a YouTube video upload. That's actually it. Like, since then, it's been daily. And I wouldn't have missed it either if I wasn't an idiot.
Yeah, it is. It's the episodes with guests. So, like, for instance, like if we had Glenn on, and we did.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's bad. So I have at least 2 contingencies running at any single time. So we have. I'm keeping the episode live, by the way, so people can just.
No, people can hear this. I don't care.
It's secret. So I have OBS running and it records a duo audio, and then I have a Streamlabs recording a solo audio, and then Cam has a Streamlabs or OBS recording a solo audio as well. Ideally, we piece together both solo audios via an audio editor, but in the duo is literally just there in case something fucks up, and it happens all the time.
It has in fact happened right now this time.
But it's fine. It's salvageable. It's no problem. So this episode will go out perfectly on time on Tuesday. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Can we talk about the Tuesday thing? It's so insane how I'm like, okay, guys, we gotta buckle in, get them out on Mondays, and then 4 out of 5 are Tuesday episodes.
All right, coming back. So what just happened there, by the way, is after we talked about cams being broken, we talked about how smart we were with having contingencies. My OBS with the duo just crashed. That has never happened in 3 years of recording.
Have you considered a contingency for that?
I think I got to go cash in a lottery ticket or something. Oh, shit. Oh my God. The duo. Luckily, it didn't corrupt, but that is insane. We actually had double contingency good. I'm like, wow. Interesting. Anyway, like Cam was saying, we have devolved into what is
we've gone even more this is 100 no Marvel Snap content.
Oh yeah, we got to rebrand eventually, just like a Booty Coin Boys or something.
Transportation podcast.
Oh man, I wonder what the deliverability score is on that email address.
The affiliate marketers.
Hey,
we're gonna
$20 free lift, no strings attached. I felt like I was doing work. You know,
we need to become one of those fake podcasts where both of us wear suits and we say stuff like, did you know that women's brains are wired differently from men? And here is 3 hacks to exploit that for financial advantage.
Let me tell you a secret. So, if you browse TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, anything like that, you've probably seen many ads where people are on podcasts and they're using that as an endorsement for a product. A lot of times, and not all the time, but a lot of times, they're actually just recording one side of it as a way to cheat you into this kind of social, I don't know what the word is, the social validation of them being on a podcast, right? So
it's all a fake podcast.
It's hilarious. It's so funny to me. I think it's hilarious, but
we need to be one of those fake podcasts, okay? Where a guy who wants to be Dan Bilzerian comes on and tells you about the secrets of building wealth or whatever.
I've been doing that all of episode 77. I literally have the booty coin chart pulled up right now. Look at this market cap.
My God.
Total supply. Oh, that's 104 billion. Let's go.
Yeah, that's a big number. So there's a lot of room to grow.
Yeah.
This is not financial advice.
Surely this is highly liquid and we man, sometimes I just love crypto. It's hilarious. Anyway, if you enjoy this podcast and you want to help us out, number thing you do is leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Video version of this on YouTube at youtube.com/@the_snapshot. Hit the subscribe while you're there. Twitter's at Brendan APG. Cam SMS. Cam is streaming in the evening.
Yep. That's pretty accurate. All right.
How many days a week?
I don't know, 4 or 5.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you all so much for listening.
Depending on how often I tilt off and play for 10 hours.
Okay. You're
technically that's over 2 days, right? So it's a lot of Saturday and then a lot of Sunday. That's 2 days streaming. Sometimes I'm streaming in the early mornings.
I am not a fraud. I must break even on my SP. I'm
God.
That hit a little close. Yeah, sorry.
Just read me for filth. That is exactly accurate. That is exactly the thought process.
Yeah, it happens to me too. It's ridiculous. Anyway, thank you all so much for listening. We'll see you next week.